All right, here we are. We are at the Denmark Drone Park here in Forsyth County, Georgia. And we're going to see what happens here today as we begin a flight. Let's go. Okay, hi, welcome. This is Mike from Adventures in Flight. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you taking time to join me. Today, I am at a different location than where I normally do my drone flights. Today, I am at the Denmark Drone Park in Forsyth County, Georgia. This is a giant park with ample amounts of room to be able to fly. And in fact, it's where I got my practice in with the Mini 3 Pro as well as the Mavic 3 Classic to get those under my belt and get a good sense of how they operated. So today I have the Air 3S with me, and my mission is not necessarily to get practice in, but my mission is, it is an absolutely clear day here in my part of the world, and I am going to attempt to see how far the zoom is going to work. I had read on a Facebook page that someone came to this park and was able to see the skyscrapers from downtown Atlanta, which is approximately 30 miles from here. So we'll see if that's truly the case or not. But right now, our weather conditions are off the chart. It is crystal clear. There is not a cloud to be seen. It is 66 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds at 300 feet above the ground are at 13 miles per hour. This is absolutely ideal for any drone flying. So enough talk, let's get to it. Well, that was an emphatic let's get to it. Well, let's get to it. So the drone is about to take off here at its location. This is post-production audio, by the way, in case you haven't figured that out. Drone is now registering its home point, so it will know where to come back to. And we are now showing video from the drone, and we are flying slowly over the drone park. There were a few people there that had the mini drones that I guess you refer to them as the APVs, where they use goggles to be able to fly around, and they fly at extremely high rates of speed. I like to, when I come here, I want to be careful and make sure I don't get in their way and vice versa. But then again, with a drone this size, you can't miss it. Anyway, we are ascending up, and we're going to make a slight turn here in just a moment, and then we're going to begin ascending up to about 350 feet in the air. Don't see anything yet. Let's see what happens. All right, we're moving ahead in the video since it was just boring. You see some radio towers, and we're scrolling over to our left, or turning to our left. Couple of buildings. What might this be? Now, this is zoomed in at the absolute maximum capacity, so it's a little blurry. And there it is, the downtown Atlanta skyline. Amazing. That's 30 miles away from the drone park. Okay, I want to share with you a still image from the Air 3S. And as mentioned, this is showing downtown Atlanta. This is using the maximum lens at the maximum rate of being zoomed in. Now, again, it's not completely crystal clear. But if you've lived in Atlanta long enough, you can make out some of the buildings. Now, Atlanta is a unique city because not all of the skyscrapers are in one general area. They are spread out. This picture may make you think that they are all lumped in one area, but they are not. And I'm going to attempt to explain this because if you look at the center of the image, there is a round building. It appears to be a round building, and that is one of the more iconic hotels in downtown Atlanta called the Westin. At least it looks like the Westin to me. I may be wrong. It may be a little over to the left, but it's a tall cylinder type building. It's very distinctive. And again, um, if you ever watch a sporting event or any other event in Metro Atlanta where they're using aerial photography, you'll see these buildings and they will all become instantly recognizable. So that's downtown. The other area is Midtown. Midtown is a separate section. And again, Midtown has some office buildings that are distinct and also very tall. One of the most distinct buildings here in Metro Atlanta is the Bank of America building. So if you go from left to right, it is either the fourth or the fifth building. It is the building with the pointy top. So interesting to say the least. Now, there are other areas that have uh, high-rise buildings, such as Buckhead, which mostly are office buildings and condos. But now I'm going to take you to the far right of this particular still shot. There are two buildings standing side by side, and those buildings are actually about 15 miles away from my present location. This is an area called the Concourse. And those two buildings are the king and the queen. And it makes you look like this whole area is just one spread out group of buildings, but they're not. I can distinctly see the tops of the king and the queen building because they have unique crowns on the top of each of those buildings. It took me a while to figure that out when I have been looking at this picture, but there they are in all of their glory, the king and the queen. All right, let's show you one more video of scrolling around. At the center of the picture is the king and the queen building. Again, this is pretty cool. And we're scrolling back over to the main part of the Atlanta skyline. All right, we are now making our return to home back to the drone park, and we are approaching our landing here. Now, this will give you a great overhead. Well, quit messing with the zoom lens, dummy. Anyway, this will give you a good opportunity to see just how things are. I was actually testing to see if I had moved out of the full zoom lens and as well as the extra lens. We are using the normal lens. So anyway, we are now approaching our site here at the drone park. Again, this should give you a really good idea just how big this place is. Now, the landing here is going to be a little unique because it's not going to be one of my standard, let's come straight down. But since I took off at an angle, it's going to come in and land at an angle. So it's going to rise up almost like a roller coaster. There I am manning the controls just in case. And it's coming very close to these trees, but it's going to miss. And of course, it's coming to its target. And I think we all know what the end result here is going to be now, don't we? Well, do you think anything can top seeing the Atlanta skyline? Probably not, but we're going to fly around the park here for just a little bit. Again, this is a place where if you really want to have some wide open space and fly, you can't beat this. This is a great place to learn, great place to just get the basic controls out of your system. It's wide open. There are trees, and your obstacle avoidance comes in handy, but that's the nature of flying a drone. You have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. But this is just a great area to just hone your skills and get better at what you do. All right. Well, I took a quick little flight around, and just like you see in the background here, there are a few homes, industrial buildings, warehouses, but not a lot to really see. So I decided to come back to the drone park, and I am utilizing the DJI return to home feature. Now, of course, this has the advanced guidance system. And here's what's going to be unique about this. You may have noticed it in the first video or the first part of this video, and it's doing the same thing. It's essentially replicating my pattern of taking off. And if you notice, it's bouncing around, going up, now it's coming down. It's as if someone is drunk flying this drone. Now, I assure you, I am not flying it. Secondly, I am not drunk. Third, when you fly a drone, you must always be sober. Never, ever, ever drink and fly. Major rule. But anyway, there I am, just looking at the controller, just like, oh well, and keeping my eye on everything. And of course, you know that the drone is going to make a perfect landing. Let's wrap this up. All right. Well, I have to say, at least viewing it firsthand, that video and flight was successful. It was definitely everything it lived up to be. As I mentioned at the beginning, a member on Facebook of the Georgia Drones group had said that they were able to capture the Atlanta skyline from this particular vantage point. So that's one of the reasons I came here, and sure enough, there it was. And this was an absolutely crystal clear day to be able to do that. So mission accomplished. Very happy with the end results. Now, of course, I need to go into post-production, see exactly how everything looks. I promise there will be no editing in terms of the quality of the image. What you see is what you'll get in terms of that. So if it's grainy, understood, but we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. While I was here, I actually happened to meet a nice young man who was also flying a Air 3S, and he told me that he had to travel 40 miles to get here because this is the closest drone park near him. So this place has a well-known reputation in the area for people to come fly their drones. And hats off to him for doing that. He also became a subscriber to my channel, so I appreciate that. But right now, I have to go run errands and resume my normal life. So, thank you all for subscribing. If you are not a subscriber yet, please hit the subscribe button. Also, give me a like. I'd appreciate it. Also helps with the algorithm. We know how finicky the YouTube algorithm is. And also, if you already are a subscriber, please press the notify button so you'll be notified when I put new content here on YouTube. All right. Well, as I said, I got to run errands. So this is Mike. Thank you all for joining. Bye for now.